Hi guys,
Hello, people.
I'm Milena,
Lola.
and we are watching. You
The
had
last
the
episode
honors.
of Sopranos.
Yes.
We are
Season
still not sure what we're watching after this. We didn't give you a poll yet, but
Oh my god, we should give them a poll.
we're gonna give you a poll soon. I mean, well, by the time you see this, there would have been a poll and you have voted.
And there is already fewer reactions filmed.
I guess, yeah.
the other.
Yeah. But this is the last. This doesn't again. It does not compute in my brain that this is the last. This is the last episode of Sopranos. Like really, I don't know. Like this again. We talked about this in the review. Like this show has been like it's the Sopranos. There's no place that you go where like somehow you don't hear about Sopranos. You don't like. I think even when we started watching it, I just realized how many times like I see someone like posting a picture as a like reaction to some tweet or whatever, and like that picture is Chris saying something funny or someone saying something funny, that I never knew it was from Sopranos. So like impact of the show in the future of television cannot possibly be overstated. Like in some ways, all my favorite shows exist because Sopranos existed first. Like I think, what a piece of fucking television
No, honestly,
to create this.
I really think this is one of the better shows out there. One of the best shows out there. I truly believe that. And I truly think like it is just interesting to watch a show where you dislike like all the characters, almost all the characters, but like the same time all those characters that you have disliked are one of the best characters that like you have watched.
Yeah.
Like even let's say somebody not important like Polly. I think it has such a good story throughout this whole show.
Yeah.
Like so many good scenes. You can only imagine what I think about like Chris. Like I don't think I have felt any more hate to any character in this show. More than at him when he did what he did to Adriana.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I have hated anybody that much. I mean Ralph at the same time as well in that scene where he killed the girl.
Yeah.
And yet felt so much compassion, like empathy towards Christopher as well in many scenes with Tawny and to how he became who he is.
Like there's like I felt whiplash with some characters with like the emotions that I was
Tawny
feeling
the
towards
most,
them.
honestly.
Tawny's
by far the most.
Of that.
Literally. President of all the characters in this whole like even like Walter White cannot fucking compare to how I felt towards Tawny in some moments.
Yeah.
Honestly. So
what a fucking feat.
Fucking fascinating.
And this is the last episode that we have of this show. It's called Made in America.
Yes.
I just see Tony and Carmela. I literally don't even know what their last scene. I don't compute what their last scene could look like. You know what I mean? Like it still does not make any sense to me. But I'm looking forward to it so much.
For all we know, this could be their last scene.
I think it might be,
on the screen. I don't know where he's gonna be killed. I don't know if we're gonna see her find out at all, or like just like the last scene of the show is gonna be Tony. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean similar with like Walter.
Yeah.
You didn't know anything like what happened after, but like that was a finished story.
Yeah, completely. That can be, but like somehow in this show, all the characters in some ways revolve around Tony. Like AJ, Carmela, like all their storylines revolve around him. So like it's interesting that like I don't know if we're gonna have like anything from them when he dies.
I don't know. It's I don't know how we would. You know what I mean? Like I can't imagine 5 minutes without Tony in this show. Like
I agree.
It doesn't make sense for me to watch anything that does not have Tony. So like I'm not sure what we're gonna do there. I really I have no idea what I'm about to watch.
Like now when on the gun that like kills Tony writes "Made in America" or something like that.
That could be a very big possibility, honestly. Like someone kills him, drops the gun, and you point to the gun.
Made in America.
That it's made in America.
God.
I don't know. Like I feel anxious even talking about this.
Last episode ended really, like you said, like I felt anxious. Like suspense.
Yeah.
Suspenseful. The music was.
I literally didn't want to talk about it. I just wanted to like press play here to like Like let me just see.
Yeah,
Like
I
let
agree.
me just see.
Usually I feel like that
Yeah.
sometimes.
And so here we
so
are.
let us just see, guys.
Let us just see.
Let us play this episode.
One last time.
Find out how it ends.
Oh, let's do it last time.
Definitely gonna miss this show.
I literally about to
Definitely gonna
cry.
miss this show.
He looks dead. I'm being overtly emotional.
New York's classic rock Q1043. Good morning, I'm Jim Kerr. Coming up a little bit later on the Q.
Half an hour, he says. It's a fucking hour and a half already. He's busy. Enjoy the music.
Look at him.
Like, who's coming and how would you ever trust them? Whoever it is.
Well, we know he's surviving until the scenes
literally.
scene with Carmela in the restaurant, so
But he doesn't know
we
that.
can calm down.
He doesn't know that. Who is it even?
You weren't coming.
I thought it sounded like him. Do you want to become an informant? What?
What's up, my friend?
No, my kid's obsessed with this shit. When we tell him he's making a molehill out of it, is she right? You got a rough enough job with this terrorism shit. I'll let you get home. The reason I called is those 2 hours I turned you on to when I happened to remember my nephew mentioned the bank. Well, they had an account. The Midna First Merchants Bank.
You just remembered that.
Yeah.
Like, do you think you can get witness protection?
Is it possible he knows what Phil Leotardo is? I'm trying to avoid any more of my guys getting hurt. If you heard anything from your pal.
I haven't.
I figured maybe money sent to the Middle East.
You're overreaching.
Like he lost everybody around him who was close to him. Who is this guy who is driving? You know what I mean?
The guy was driving for a bit now. Like, we don't even know him, but he was.
Where you going? I just got here.
I'm really late meeting Patrick in the city.
How you doing?
She smelled that odor too. I got to get home.
I'm working on it.
Working on it means
My God, Tony,
I'm
Yeah.
planning to kill them.
you're being careful?
I mean, still has not, like, officially been dead, I guess.
This kind of bothers me.
We're just friends.
I know. Nice work.
He's a model.
She's doing some modeling. Right? She's a junior in high school.
What?
Uncle Bobby's funeral is finally set. For Thursday. You're gonna be there.
How's that supposed to work? I mean, we're all in DEFCON 4, living in separate houses. We're gonna stand out in the open at a cemetery?
There was always a large FBI presence.
Ceremony just ended.
One of these days, you'll love a chicken.
This seems like a perfect place to kill you.
This right here.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of the FBI presence, sure, but... Volcano.
She had one American.
War.
No. Yes.
Jennifer Hudson? Absolutely.
Uncle Polly, come sit down.
Yeah, I'll sit with you. Then y'all get on, right? Who are you, dear?
Terrorism Combe, Bobby's niece.
My condolences.
Move your hand. You can be her grandfather.
I've lost 2 dear friends.
Still's hanging on.
I lost mine last month. We could take 2007 and give it back to the Indians. See it?
You people are fucked. You're living in a dream. And you still sit here talking about the fucking Oscars? What rough beast slouches toward Bethlehem to be born?
AJ.
Yates? The world. Don't you see it? Bush let Al-Qaeda escape.
Boom!
In the mountains. Then he has us invade some other country. Just join up. Go kill some fucking terrorists. It's more noble than watching these jack-off fantasies on TV if I were kicking their ass. America.
What about it?
I mean, this is still where people come to make it. It's a beautiful idea. And then what do they get? Bling? Come on for shit they don't need and can't afford?
You're all over the place. I don't know what you're trying to say.
He
Made
say
in
the friend is
America.
intersects with the Ramistan approximately at the Pada Nostra. Julius, what do I have?
Julius, as in Julius Caesar.
Caesar, yeah.
As in, like, someone's gonna stab you in the back.
In this room.
We're gonna meet Paulie down in the hospital, visit Sil. You wanna come?
Nah, I got, shit I gotta do. My daughter.
Yesterday was his gout.
are you? You close?
Let's do it over the phone.
No word yet. No one knows where our friend is.
He should have been done first.
We thought they'd find them both at the strip joint.
I've heard this already.
But I know you're disappointed, Phil. I didn't hear everything you said.
Fucking A, I'm disappointed.
Maybe...
What? You talking about reaching out? We can't go back. Are you out of your fucking mind?
A gift? Is it Janice?
Want pastries?
Need to watch my weight. Need to snag another husband. You're the only one who realized that's a joke. Well, Robert's already said he wants to go live with his aunt.
What about Sophia?
Nika is my daughter. She's very much into her older sister. Sophia's out of her mind if she thinks she's getting out of this house.
Is that a joke? 'Cause that one even got by me.
Jesus Christ.
I'd like to give it a shot with Bobby's kids. Bobby would want it. I had therapy. I'm a good mother. I put Ma and all her work shit behind me. Not that I get anything for it.
Well, you could form a new nuclear family. You bring Harpo down here?
Papa changed his name. He's Hal now.
Yeah.
Multiple calls traced back to a payphone in Oyster Bay, Long Island.
What? Where's the phone at exactly?
Gas station, most likely.
Gas station.
He's lamed out. He may not be able to put his hands on a clean cell phone.
Listen, thanks.
No, he's not just like helping save a man's life. He's helping kill, take a man's life.
Like this is stepping over a line.
In my opinion, honestly, I think
Like,
already was a bad
Warning Tony about like the potential threat is fine, you know.
We're good friends.
And your nerves is lit, yet you know there is no answer fit to satisfy. Ensure you not to quit for them or it that you belong to. Do not respect
What is happening to the car?
their jobs, their destiny, speak jealousy.
How did it just happen to the car?
Do what they do just to be nothing more than something they invest in. To script party platform ties.
Oh Christ, I parked and leave!
The car Tony bought him.
It's burning, destroyed.
It's an SUV. Watch where you park off-road. The catalytic converter in the dry vegetation.
I didn't see the leaves.
You can grill fucking steaks on that converter.
I am depressed. I'm supposed to go around looking for piles of leaves?
We cannot use this as excuses.
Oh, you have insurance for?
Oh, excuse me? You're not getting another one.
Actually, that's good. It'll force me to take the bus. We have to break our dependence on foreign oil.
Look at that. Did you see Tony's face?
I need you to reach out to the little guy.
He's not happy with Phil neither.
What I'm thinking, you'd supply a neutral location. Guaranteed everybody's safety.
I could do that.
Are we coming really to a neutral location?
With Polly.
Oh, that's the only one that's left. What? Oh.
We started it. We got a dead Gumar in Queens and an old Ukrainian father.
And I'm not even gonna blame Phil. John Sacramone, my friend. And he created a constant tension within his own family which spilled over.
We agreed. It's gone too far. Phil, I don't know. It's changed. You got my word. We'll back off.
My price is you help us get a location of Phil.
Oh, they're turning on Phil?
This is my assistant we're talking about. She's gotta see something out of this.
We'll come up with a number.
Of course, it's about money. Money, money,
What?
money.
Literally, how much is a person's life worth?
Yeah.
They gave the go-ahead basically for Phil.
Yes.
What's gonna go wrong?
Can it be that like doesn't matter, I'm gonna stop. I'm just like, can it be that we kill Phil and this a second is like he thinks he's safe?
Yeah, and then
He
like
gets killed, and
little
that's it.
Carmine does something.
Yeah, but like we don't know. We're not gonna see little Carmine doing something.
Get him the fuck out. These are snakes with fur.
It's a cat. Look how
They
cute.
even put them around the baby. They suck the breath right out.
He's a good guy.
Tony likes pets and babies.
No pay for him.
They're searching for
Yeah,
payphones
for
on gas
payphones, okay.
stations.
What?
What is she even doing here?
Libya.
I'm Janice, her daughter. Bobby and my baby.
Is she asking for like something?
Janice.
Money?
No, I'm Janice. That's my little girl. Her name's Domenica.
Sweet as she looks, she left my stove on purpose. I caught her.
I'm afraid I have bad news. Bobby's dead.
Ambassador Hotel.
You're Bobby. Bobby Bacalera. I'm a widow now.
She was inveigling him. She's after his money. You're not even curious about him?
God, I didn't even think like this is the last episode. They're gonna have a scene. Oh, who's this now?
When you were inpatient, you said you might try and get a job.
I can't now because of the car. I need to get a bus schedule.
My boy, stop making excuses.
Ever since it blew up, I feel like cleansed or something. I'm just watching it go. That huge fireball. My seat melted. I had been in it just a few seconds before.
Are we lucky to be alive?
Hello! To go see Butcher Dumb on a couple of items. Carlo didn't show. And you don't answer his phones, neither.
Oh.
I'll call you back on a prepay.
What if the guy just like overslept or something?
What if he flipped? Who? Carlo? Well? You there? It's Kid. The imbecile. Jason. He got picked up yesterday. For selling ecstasy.
Okay.
Matt, they're gonna be here. Miss Hunter! Long time no see!
How are you, Mrs.
Oh my god.
God, when was it? It was right around when you quit college.
You're being kind. I was kicked out for partying.
So what are you up to now?
I'm in my second year of med school.
Oh.
Yeah,
Good
I
fucking job,
did
girl.
undergrad purchase, got my act together.
But like, you see that she wanted to lower her by saying, last time I saw you was when you quit college.
More Pinot Gris, Patrick?
Speaking of jokers, where's that other son of yours today?
I didn't think he was invited. I just thought with all the wedding talk, you know?
No, really. That pal of his, the other Jason. But he ran into some trouble. Well, he's got no shortage of lawyers here.
I was very impressed with her work at the Poverty Law Center. Even got into starting salaries. He was talking 170.
He's a sweetheart. That's fantastic. Huh?
He hadn't had too much gibbering.
Don't devalue yourself. We got a really interesting case right now. We're defending James Trufolio, the county commissioner, in those corruption charges.
Hi.
Hi.
Sometimes most of the day he just stares at Chrissy's picture.
He is.
Fuck.
He believes in like things that are out of this world.
This fucking animal's history today. Pick him up. You pick him up.
I will kill you.
Hey.
He's cleaning, I cannot.
Does it all the time.
These are like sweeping.
Yeah. Look at him staring at that dead kid. Gives me the fucking creeps.
Who the fuck are these guys? I feel like they can like
Like
flip
I
it
told
out.
you.
There's no one to trust.
That's what I want to say. Like, fascinated to see who he is surrounded now.
Fucking Chinese fire drill over there. Especially now that Carlo's absent. I know. I want you to skip at that thing. Jesus Christ, I thought you'd be pleased I didn't hang your diagnosis on a clock. With due respect, I'd like to just mull it a little. A little biffled, but yeah, sit with it. Nice day. This means everything. Your fate.
Fascinated to see who he is surrounded now.
Anyway, mid-60s, probably used to payphones.
We don't have payphones. Just a couple of stations have them anymore.
Is it an AJ?
Da 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 da. Get in.
Oh my god, he sweated through his entire t-shirt. Did you see the front?
Yes, that happens when you run.
Does it? I wanna know.
Yeah. I'm gonna join the army.
What? Did you sign any shit?
No. But this week I will. I gotta do a Rhiannon first.
Rhiannon? What about your mother?
Her too.
Are you nuts? You want to get sent to Iraq?
Afghanistan. The army's probably good for my career.
You don't have a career.
Right. And my ultimate goal is to qualify for helicopter pilot training. Afterwards, go to work for Trump or somebody. Be their personal pilot.
This is a modern fucking
I'm
show.
not even going to tell your mother about this. And don't you do nothing until we've had another chance to talk. Gonna join the fucking army. On the other hand, I'm thinking maybe he could benefit from the training, the discipline.
Maybe the army'd be great for him if there wasn't a war going on.
He says he wants to get past the hate. Focus it only on the terrorists.
This whole therapy thing, I gotta tell you.
What?
My mother was a borderline personality. So what? I don't know if you knew that.
No.
Well, I did not have a very happy child.
No?
Talking about himself.
There was little love in the house. Tried to place her in a retirement community for her own good. She turned on me. Completely.
Yes. I cannot.
You see, I never could please my mother. So much suffering in the world. Why did you go off the pediatrician thing?
We talked about that.
Yeah, you said you wanted to be a lawyer for black people.
Well, that's all I said. Really? What I said was the state can crush the individual.
New Jersey?
The government, specifically the federal government.
And what about little babies?
You know what really turned me? Seeing the way Italians are treated. And if we can have our rights trampled like that, imagine what it's like for recent arrivals. If I hadn't seen you dragged away all those times by the FBI, then I'd probably be a boring suburban doctor.
He should have been dragged by the FBI. Hello?
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Grandpa.
By the way the Italians are treated. What Italians?
Is it bye bye?
Oh my god, is it bye bye bye?
Is it really bye bye,
Bye
Grandpa?
bye bye.
I should get a 60-day supply of that.
Well, go back into the car! Enter the fucking car!
He's gonna, Phil gonna save them. He's, no, they didn't stop it. What just happened? The show can't just kill a person. It has to always go over the top.
It's gonna be like he's gonna think it's gonna be fine.
Joe beat. Only Antonio got popped.
Damn, we're gonna win this thing.
Is he thinking like let them just kill each other?
Yeah. And then what?
As your parents, we don't feel joining the army is in your best interest.
Can take them serious.
This country is in a crisis.
How can one soldier stop it?
I could join the CIA or something. And with a military background, I'd have a leg up. And as an Arabic speaker, I'd be really useful.
I don't understand. You're gonna ask the Donald for some time off from your pilot job to go on CIA?
Everything's a joke to you. Did you or did you not want me to go to military school?
What about that?
I remember that.
Me too.
You don't want to go to college, don't go to college. But don't get your legs blown off.
Always with the drama.
So what does your girlfriend say? The fashion model?
Doesn't think I should go either.
Well?
Not that long ago, you talked about owning a club.
Right. You got a problem with that too?
A lot of your friends are in film school, you said, especially the ones you used to go to the clubs with.
Wait, what?
I got this screenplay from Danny Blowood. We met at your cousin's movie. Danny hoped I'd set him up with some financing, and I never read it.
Well, you did now.
Yeah, I did now. And but long story short, it's about a private detective that gets sucked into the internet through his data port, and he's got to solve some murders of some virtual prostitutes.
He's gonna solve.
It's scary.
One is I talked to little Carmine, and he's interested in developing it through his company.
He does porn.
He did Cleaver. He's branching out.
You would work for his producer, Inga. You would be, what is the word? Development executive on this project.
Really? Well, what's this got to do with clubs?
Hollywood and gossip columns, the night spots.
And you get some real world experience under your belt, you come see me, and we will talk about being invested in the club. Run that past Rahuni. See what she says.
Okay. Okay.
Somebody's giving grand jury testimony on something. 80 to 90% chance you'll be indicted. That fucking gun charge. I get sick when I think of it. Plus interstate fraud. And if Carl starts talking homicide.
You have to open it.
I thought they said like that he is not brain dead, but like something.
He's not gonna wake up or something.
Yeah.
He's not gonna be conscious or something.
I love the fact that she's his actual wife.
I adore that.
Oh, little Miss Sunshine. He was literally the most loyal one to you.
Only the two of them.
God, remember when this
There was
table was full?
7 of them.
He still takes a thing too.
All due respect. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Every guy who ran that crew died prematurely.
Oh, come on.
I beat cancer once. You got no idea what that does to you.
Yeah, I know, but Jesus, you gotta...
Richie Aprile, Ralphie MIA, Tito, and who knows what the fuck of Carlo and Gigi.
Gigi died taking a shit.
Doesn't mean it's not part of an overall pack.
He believes in bad omens.
Hey, it is. Since he's dead, my gambling luck's done a 180.
Oh, okay. It's fine for you to believe that shit, but I can't worry about a jinx. I never told this to another living soul, but one time at the big, I was alone to meet Eddie Lind. I saw the Virgin Mary.
Why didn't you say something? Fuck strippers, we could have had a shrine. Sold holy water in gallon jugs. Could have made millions.
I tell you something deep in my heart, and you laugh it off?
I'm not saying there's nothing out there for me. But I don't live your life? What the fuck are you gonna do?
I live but to serve you, my liege.
I don't think you'll have to worry about that for long.
Oh, they had to get it for me. There's no real public transport out here. But I said, no more SUVs.
They had to get it for me.
Oh, listen, we're not eating at home tonight. I thought we'd go to Holston's.
Where are the ducks?
Do you even care?
I gotta see some people. I'll meet you there.
Huh. Okay, they're gonna be. I said I want.
We see the picture,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
he's not gonna die before
Yeah,
that.
that's what I'm saying.
Sir? Sir, excuse me.
Hello? You don't recognize me?
We used to play catch.
You don't remember that you shot me?
We used to play catch.
Well, enough with the fucking birds. I'm Anthony, Johnny's son.
Fuck you want, a boutonniere?
Uncle Pat came to see me. About Janice, about your money.
People keep asking me. I don't know. There's a man from another galaxy that came here.
It's your account.
I'm confused.
Any money should go to Bobby Bacala's kids. Now, Janice may not do that, but Bobby was with us. He's a made guy. Wouldn't be right.
Me, I never had kids.
You remember where your stash is? You let Uncle Pat know. When he used to have the family, I'll hold on to it as a guardian for Bobby's kids. You remember Bobby?
Sure.
You don't know who I am, do you? You remember Johnny? Johnny boy? Your kid brother? This thing of ours.
I was involved with that?
You and my dad. You two ran North Jersey.
We did?
Yeah.
What looks good tonight?
I don't know.
He just called. He's on his way. Ned's coming separately. She had to go to the doctor. Switch birth control. You talk to Mink again?
It's Carlo. He's gonna testify.
Everything scares me when the door's open. Who's that guy?
I'm doing scanning coffee.
What is happening?
I'm so scared.
You may not realize it, but you are making contact.
It's an entry-level job. Fuck up.
My heart is beating out my
Mine too,
chest.
honestly.
Focus on the good times.
Don't be sharp, kid.
Isn't that what you said one time? Try and remember the times that were good?
I did?
Yeah.
Season 1.
Well, sure I did.
What is happening?
My heart.
Oh, go ahead and order something for the table.
Was he just shot?
Is he dead? So like we don't see, or is it an open ending? What is this?
I think he got shot.
So like because what?
My heart.
What? Mine too.
What did Bobby say? You don't hear it?
Yeah, something like that. Something like that. Even though he was turning around everywhere, you know what I mean? Because like he, no words, honestly. God.
Oh my god.
It's not the same day.
It's not even the same week. I'm not sure it's the same month, actually. It's not.
It's not the same month.
It's not the same month. We're in June.
It's June and it was May, and now it's 35 degrees Celsius outside, and it was probably 15 when we filmed.
Yes.
Because it climbed like this, you know?
I don't know why we're telling you this, but here you go.
We were in the hoodies.
Were we?
I mean, something like that, yeah.
Oh, well.
And now we're
here we
putting air conditioner on, you know what I mean?
It took us such a long time to film this because like we kind of pre-filmed the rest of the season. It took us, today is the 7th of June, it's 9 p.m. You're getting this on the 7th of June. If you're in Europe, you're getting this on the 8th technically, because I'm not sure you're gonna finish this like, it's gonna be after midnight for Europe.
Yeah.
But if you're in America, it's still June 7th.
Yeah.
So like this, it's as real time as it gets right now.
Yes. We couldn't prolong it anymore. But
No.
like, because like when it's all like we couldn't film it at that point because like it was so much, you know.
I couldn't even, like I was so exhausted emotionally.
Yeah, we couldn't
talk
form
about it.
sentences. So like we thought that the show, because it was the last episode, deserved a better review. And somehow every day that we filmed, we thought today is not the day that we give you guys a good review. I
don't think I've also ever thought that we like ever give like a good review. You know what I mean? Like every time that we do this, like we need to have like a good. We need to like the final one. We have to like say profound things.
Yes.
I don't have capacity for profound things. You know, so like I just think we should let that idea go.
Yes. But some reviews are better than the others. Some are.
Yeah, but like I swear to God, the best reviews are for the most random episodes. That no one would ever think that we would find like ways to talk about this.
I completely agree.
So
and they're not the planned ones, and this is the planned one. No. So.
But here
we have finished The Sopranos. Honestly, I didn't think that like that sentence ever gonna come out of my mouth. Literally, because like for a long time.
Yeah.
I knew about Sopranos and I did not play it and did not have many intentions to play it until we reacted to it. You know?
Yeah, until it won a poll.
Exactly.
Begrudgingly so.
Yeah.
I mean, technically after The Wire, I remember the two of us, like the, let's say, natural successor would have been Sopranos. But the two of us at that point were like, for the love of God, no. Because like, again, I had this idea of The Sopranos in my mind that was It was not this. It was much more, I mean, it is dark and gloomy, and I was not ready for dark and gloomy after The Wire. So we went with
That's what I want to say. It was
Black
pretty much
Sails.
actually this.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like I knew that like I am gonna love this show. I knew this show is gonna be phenomenal.
Yeah.
I just didn't want this type of a show at that point. I wanted something different in my mind, you know, just because we had, I'm not gonna say similar show, but like some similar feeling, like at least it was filmed in the same century, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Something silly. I didn't want this. I didn't want a hard show. I don't know how to explain it. I didn't want this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think like sometimes we need to play shows at the right time, you know?
I agree.
Like when we are ready for them, to not stop them or to not enjoy them as much as we could. But I did expect to love this show. Just because everybody's praising it as the best show out there, you know?
Yeah.
So like
again, like just watching it now after watching everything else that came after it, like after watching Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, The Wire, everything else that you would consider, let's say, like classic in a way, like something that was very important for television. Somehow everything came from The Sopranos, which I just think makes the show's impact and influence like that much greater. Like it's not just an incredible show, like it was a show that has inspired so many other shows that we love. Like there will be no Walter White if there was no Tony Soprano. Like it stemmed from him. So like just like knowing the importance of that, like I cannot believe that we have finished it. Like a part of me is sad every time that like we play a show that is like something that I've known is like a cult classic. I feel a part of me feels very sad that I cannot watch this again for the first time, that it's over.
I understand.
But oh well.
Yes, but the thing that like I did not expect was Tony Soprano, honestly. He is, if not one of the most complex character that I have ever watched. Like, yeah, Walter White is also one of them, you know? But somehow the empathy that I felt for Tony Soprano and the hate that I felt for Tony Soprano is, to me, fascinating, honestly.
Yeah.
He is the most influential thing that came out of this show for me, honestly.
Yeah. I literally, we posted episode 20 a few days ago, and there was discourse in the comments on whether he is a sociopath or he's not a sociopath or whatever, which I think is a very interesting topic, and I think you can go either ways. And I think also just really depends on what you view as a sociopath, what is your definition of a sociopath, because I think it's different in terms for psychologists, and it's different from I guess terms of how I would maybe use it, in the sense of lack of feeling, lack of love for certain things.
Absolutely lack of feeling, even though you understand that even you are supposed to have that feeling. Yeah. And that is scary to me, you know? That is why he is so manipulative, you know? And because he understands the emotions, he understands that emotions he should have. Yeah. He pretends to have those emotions, but he doesn't feel them truly. No. For how those emotions other people experience those emotions. Love, empathy, sadness for other humans or anything. He doesn't experience it the way that the two of us would experience it.
Yeah. And again, I think the compelling bit of his character is that from the get-go, from episode 1, you know where it stems from. You know who the people were that raised him. And throughout the show, it's just a matter of finding out in what ways that has affected him in becoming who he is now. Yeah. You know, because if he didn't grow up in this type of a way, he wouldn't be the man that he is now, you know?
I mean, we pretty much even had the episode with him when he was shot, you know?
Yeah, when he was the salesman.
Exactly.
Or whatever, that like didn't feel like he belonged. I mean, technically he got like dealt this identity that he didn't think belonged to him. And like that's just simply, I think that was such a perfect representation of who Tony was in a lot of ways, because like he got pushed into this life. He also chose it because it was the easier option, but again, he chose it because that was the option that he saw available to him. That was what he knew. That was like his father was someone that he should have like emulated. People were telling him that, and so like it is kind of the only viable option for him that he saw, that he went down.
Absolutely.
So like, I mean, there's nothing of Tony Soprano from this last episode that we can say that changed much. I just think like the progression of him and the progression of my love towards him, and like the way that it went like so down, or like I don't know if I would say love, because like I love him as a character, and so like I don't know, maybe the better term is like my empathy towards him like went completely south.
See, for me it's very complicated.
Yeah.
Because there are these characters that like I have never lost empathy towards too, you know? But because of their actions, like I'm talking about him and Chris, like there were scenes with the two of them, even in season 6, where I felt empathy towards those characters. But like I didn't excuse their actions that like I maybe did potentially in season 1, you know? If I did, I don't remember, you know? But I did have much more warmth in season 1, let's say, towards, especially
oh my God,
Tony in this case, you know? But like I think we gradually saw them, I don't know if that's wrong.
It is.
Saw them for who they are. You know what I mean?
No, I think the show did that perfectly, because like I like feel the change in my emotions in watching them.
Because,
you know,
like,
because
I just think the show did it perfectly to let us know in season 1, make us empathize with Tony from the beginning, you know, even though he was this person from the start of the show, you know, but then we got to know him through his actions, for what he is doing in each day, how he is cancer to everybody around him, to society, you know. So like with all those actions, our empathy like left, you know, our warmth for him completely disappeared by the end of the show. But like again, just like for Chris, for Tony as well, at least for me, there were scenes that I always felt empathy. Even in the last episode with Tony, when he went to talk to Junior, I felt empathy towards him. You know what I mean?
Like I that scene pained me in so many ways, because like again, I feel like up until that point, like I'm watching this Tony that I at this point hate, and then he goes to like Junior, who was this father figure who he has not seen basically throughout most of the season after like Junior shot him, and I feel so overwhelmed by some type of like sadness that here he is and Junior, you know, doesn't remember anything basically, and Tony hates him but also loves him. And so in that one scene he like gives him a bit of kindness, I think, you know, by reminding him and saying that like him and Tony's dad like used to run Jersey or whatever he said, like something along those lines. It felt like a nice end, because like at that point Tony can only be doing this out of some type of love towards Junior, which is not something that like we're necessarily used to with Tony.
Absolutely, yeah. But like those are the scenes that like that bring me back, where I empathize.
It's just that like the further we went through the seasons that
didn't
those
have
scenes
them.
were further
Yes, they were
in between.
2 times, 3 times in the season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there were potentially when he talked to Janice about their family, or like even when he talked to Junior in I think season 5, when he said, "Did you ever love me?" You know, they're like that. Those are the moments that remind you, like, because you hate him at that point. The show made you hate him,
Yeah.
and those are the moments that remind you, like, he was this kid,
Yeah.
who was made to be this man.
Yeah.
You know, and this person hurt him, and this person hurt him, and like he said, he had so many scars. So now he deserves this glory or whatever this money this world brings him. You know,
Yeah.
and he exploits that glory and the money, and he does bad things, and because he deserves that. You know, I don't know.
And
I
he
just think
pities himself in every step of the way, and he thinks people should, how do I say this, like, it feels like, because like when he was younger, I'm sure he didn't feel seen or heard or understood of what he wanted, what he didn't want. Now in
That's for
everything
sure.
and now in everything else that he does, he like craves people's pity towards him, because like he thinks that what was done to him maybe in growing up was unjustifiable, and now like he's searching out that feeling from people in this day, like when he keeps saying, like, poor me, how does this keep happening to me, or something, I'm a good person, I don't know exactly. Like, he gradually, as the seasons went on, he became worse and worse. Like,
I mean,
he didn't say things in season 3 that he said in season 6.
definitely.
You know?
I mean, again, I still think he became Livia in some ways. You know, I think he became his mother, and I think his children had that role model in their house, the similar one that he had in his house. Of course, everything is there. It's not the same situation. It doesn't mean that AJ is gonna become like mob boss or anything like that. You know, but they did had similar role models who became their
Yeah.
parents, let's say.
I mean, the kids are gonna go through life justifying all of their actions, however good or bad they are.
Just like probably Olivia justified her actions as well and said all the same things, like poor me, or how did I say, or my husband cheated, or I did this, or
Yeah.
like all of it, you know.
Yeah.
So like he learned that influenced his life tremendously, and he taught the same to his kids, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, so did Carmela. Like, I think also like one of the, maybe the biggest, I mean, definitely kind of maybe the biggest, definitely kind of maybe. I said I don't know. Like, I think, you know, by the end of it, I was looking at every single character with absolutely like no emotions whatsoever, which is like maybe the weirdest for Carmela, because like for the longest time I had so much love towards her, and I think because like I could still maybe in my mind justify her behavior as something that, like, you know, she doesn't know anything else. And when it came to a point where her and Tony broke up, and after that she went back together with him with just like this notion of like, you know, I don't want to hear about it or see it or whatever, like, don't embarrass me. I don't think I don't think I thought then that I would gradually lose empathy, but I think every episode by episode, I think I was thinking, you chose this now.
Literally.
Like, here we are now. And I will, like, one of the most impactful lines of the show that I will forever think about is when that therapist told her, you can't say that no one told you.
Yeah.
Or no one warned you about it. No one told you. Because, like, I feel like the therapist told me that in some ways. Like, you cannot justify her in many ways in what she was doing. I thought that I didn't. I thought that I wasn't justifying her, but like, I guess that I was, because when it came to the point where she just reverted back to everything, I started losing that love.
The thing is, again, it's our first time watching the show, just like with Tony. Like, I even think now while watching, if I would rewatch season 1, I would still know who he is because I watched him do all those things and behaved in the way. Like, I would from the start not have empathy. I mean, not have empathy, but like not have warmth. Like, I would not forget all those things. So like we started this show blind, started it like not knowing anything about these characters.
Yeah.
And like I still, in the midst of all of these characters, I still think Carmela showed the most promise, you know? And I'm not saying I don't know if I also didn't think we ever, let's say, justified her. I just think we didn't know where the story is going, so we, let's say, hoped.
Yeah.
Tried to, because she didn't do such a horrible things. We didn't see her know exactly the things that like she knew, you know, about Tony and his work and what he is doing, you know. So like we had reasons to potentially hope for something, some kind of a change, you know.
Yeah.
Like when she breaks up with him, that she's gonna realize so many things, you know?
Yeah.
And what she realized was not how bad he is and how complicit she is. She knew that, you know?
Yeah.
It's that she wants that lifestyle, no matter the consequences. And I think that was in my mind, the point where I thought, okay, there is nothing to hope for anymore. There is nothing, there is no reason for me to love you, justify you. You literally, even though she chose it maybe 5 years ago, maybe 15, maybe every single day. But I think that was up until that point when she told him what she told him about, I don't want to hear it. And with the way that they reconciled, you know, I think that was the point where I lost honestly all hope. And like you said, like I think we gradually realized how much warmth and empathy we lost towards her. But I think because like it was like us first time seeing her and seeing where the story is going, and then she became worse and worse in every scene. Or it was like the bubble broke.
Yeah,
so like we
you cannot see now anything other than faults.
So like I don't know if I were to rewatch the show again. I don't think I would ever have the warmth that I had the first time, because I didn't know where the story is going the first time. But maybe I would read some things differently.
Yeah.
Like then that time when we first watched it, because I didn't know what she was thinking or where the show is going. And I do know that she knows much more now than what I
initially thought
or something like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think she was the biggest change for me and my emotions, you know,
I agree
towards that's definitely, that's for sure.
I agree. And I think like a very common thing in the Sopranos was there were so many characters, I think all like Tony, I guess in the beginning, Chris, Carmela, the kids, Adriana, Bobby, I'm sure.
Be careful where you're going with Adriana.
No, that like that you wished for a different type of ending and outcome. That they would choose something differently. Like Carmela not to choose Tony, for Adriana not to choose Chris,
not to trust
for
him,
Chris not to also choose Tony. Like you wished for a different outcome for all of them, and none of them got it. Literally none of them got it, and it seemed like the most realistic route to go down in. And I think like that is the thing about Sopranos that is like so fascinating to me, how like I don't think it functions structurally the same as other shows. Related to plot, for example, I think there are many things that don't follow through. In terms of like every time that they like mention something plot in the mob world or whatever, I'm like thinking, because like that's just how my brain is used to functioning watching shows, like I'm thinking this has to now mean something. How many times am I searching for the fucking war between Johnny and Tony that they just like reconciled in one scene? Because I think that's how it would usually work. Like that's not something like it doesn't go like, oh, this they said something and now that is definitely gonna turn out. No,
Absolutely.
they run over their words all the fucking time. Their words mean nothing, you know? And so like that, you couldn't follow, let's say, the plot by expectation of who says what, but you could always very easily follow the characters and the implications of the characters.
I agree.
Which made it feel so much more realistic. That like for plot, like I can't even tell you what the plot was. Like with the mob, I like at first, because like I have no idea who's doing what. I have no idea who's killing who, like all those things, like I have no clue. Like I can literally not tell you like an overarching plot in the mob world, because the overarching plot was Tony Soprano.
Yeah.
And sort of like how you continue the cycle, or like you continue,
Absolutely,
like your upbringing is gonna show in how you show up in the world, and there is sometimes not a lot that you can do about it, especially when you don't want to,
especially when it's harder to
Yeah.
change things, to do anything differently.
Yeah.
When you cannot accept some things, you know, like who your father was.
Yeah.
Then you cannot
And he
accept
never
things.
did.
Yeah.
He
then you
literally never
cannot
did.
accept who you are. And he never did that either. Because like if he would to accept who his father was, or how horrible his actions were, or how horrible it is what he did, and like to other people, or to his wife, or to his children,
Yeah.
then he would have to accept absolutely the same things towards himself as well. And then we would watch completely different
Yeah.
show. You know,
Yeah.
I love that about this show.
I love that because like I think other shows would have had that scene where like the main character says something about his father that to you feels cathartic. And Tony doesn't get that scene because Tony doesn't get it.
I'm not saying this is better than the other. I love those scenes.
No,
Kakea
me
takes
too.
the
God,
other
I
show.
eat those scenes up.
Literally.
Always.
That's what I want to say. It's just that is something that's very interesting in this show, that this show didn't give that to Tony. Didn't give him the change. Didn't give him anything. Didn't he give Carmela the change? Nothing, basically. And I do agree with you. I think this show is about characters completely through and through. What they have been, how they had, that has influenced their choices in life, how that has influenced what they left into this world, what they taught their children, and who their children are as grown-up people, are as humans right now.
Yeah.
We see that influence on Tony because of his mother and his father, and now we see it on Chris, and then we saw it on AJ and Meadow.
Yeah.
Like we saw it completely for what it was. And I honestly could tell you that like that was the main plot. Like the main plot were the characters.
Yeah.
And I think that was phenomenal about this show, honestly, because
Yeah.
it was not about mob wars. It was not about
Because like literally, who do you even
who
fucking
did
remember from
this,
Mob
or
Wars?
like
Come on.
who of the FBI caught who, or anything like it, you know. And I think it was nice to see all the characters, like you said, because like you cannot predict the plot, but you can pretty much predict what these characters are gonna get, and that is usually what they deserve, you know.
Yeah.
Like we had different, not every character in the mob is the same, even though they have many of them done horrible things, you know. But we do see that like those differences in their death scenes as well, or in Carmela's case, where she ended up as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we had Johnny, who died of cancer because he was cancer to the society as well, but surrounded people who love him and who he loves, because that was also who he was as well, you know. At the same time, we had Chris, who died because of his curse. His curse was Tony Soprano, you know.
He died by looking Tony in his
the
face
eyes
while
he's choking him.
Yeah.
You know? And
like you really couldn't have gotten a worse death. Like he had, again, at one point he said like this is the man that I'm gonna go to hell for.
Yeah.
And here you are going to hell directly because he's the one killing you. I somehow I feel like every single character's ending gave a certain something was cathartic about
I
it.
think so as well,
you
yeah.
know, by them going down one by one. I mean, like sure, for Bobby, for example, like I didn't feel cathartic because like I don't think Bobby I was not like on that level, let's say, but like also by the end, I didn't feel too much empathy for Bobby either. And I don't know if that's just to do, because I read someone said that like it's interesting that we didn't feel for Bobby because like that's usually the type of character we will go for, which like I understand because like he's like, let's say, a softer character in the sea of these dark characters. But I think like as my empathy was going down for all of them and all of that group and what they did, it went down for everyone in that group. And the thing with Bobby is that I feel like, and I didn't know that it also, I think, happened then when like he got with Janice so soon after his wife died. And again, Janice exploited that completely because he was in grief. But like I thought that his grief should not overshadow the needs of his children at that moment, you know? And so like it seemed to me like he wasn't, maybe that like now Janice, when she took over like the raising of the kids, who like she's a stranger to them, and he didn't do that job because like again it's an Italian family, so somehow like he doesn't think it's his responsibility really to like maybe be present, or at least that's the type of vibe that I got from him. And so like I think that kind of made me colder towards him because I didn't think that he like put his kids there first, you know? And so like in totality, like when he also got shot, at that point I only feel bad for the kids.
Yeah, I think we already at that point lost. I mean, I don't say lost. I mean, like you said, like have not had the same feelings. I think those feelings gradually have been lesser and lesser since he got with Janice. Yeah. Even though I did understand in that moment how easily manipulated.
Yeah, definitely.
Like how very, like I'm gonna say word weak, or I don't know what word to use, you know, but like it was very easy. He was fragile. Yeah, it was very easy to manipulate him, and at one point that she saw it and she used it, you know. But like you said, I understand what you mean with the kids. Even though we did have in the beginning a few scenes where Janice is fighting with them or something, and Janice is abusive, is angry, and he's saying like, I'm gonna, like, I don't want my kids around this or something like that. But like that was never, like you said, stronger. That was never the prominent thing, the first thing that if he thought he would never get with Janice, I mean, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do agree with that. I do understand that. But I think he was, in my opinion at least, an interesting character, different than the others.
I mean, definitely.
In the show, definitely.
Like he was, if you have to pick one that's like better than the rest,
yeah,
he's easily that.
Yeah.
You know, like he was not even, like he is really the type that you can say if he was not born into this world, he would have been just like such a good guy, you know, like just like the guy that you see at your kids' soccer match.
Yeah,
like,
I also was there were times where I was hoping a bit of different ending for him as well, you know, until I figured out that like that ending is not happening, you know, where I would have liked that like he had not changed so much for Janice or for the business to climb up, you know. I think she manipulated him wanting to climb up in this business because that is good for him and good for them as family and all of it. And we had scenes of him being very like abusive. I don't know how to words, like what your words is, not towards children but to other people, showing his strength, how powerful he is or something.
Okay, yeah,
you know, that also, like those were the moments where I understood, okay, this is where we're going with his character. There is no gonna be going back. He's not gonna get any other different story of getting out of this business or of changing anything, you know.
Yeah,
he's just following the paths of many others.
Yeah, so like there was like nothing to after that grab onto. He was the same as the rest.
Exactly.
Like not the same as the rest, not at all, but just like he blended into that crew.
Absolutely.
So like he didn't stand out in any
just like
capacity.
I mean,
like
Carmela
I didn't notice him.
Carmela wasn't the same as the rest.
No.
You know, she didn't directly kill anybody, you know.
No.
But I think she was complicit completely.
Yeah.
You know? So like that's what I wanna say. Like he wasn't either same as the rest, but
you cannot like wash your hands of it, you know what I mean? Like if one guy kills someone and you know that that guy killed someone, you're complicit in it.
You're not
You know,
maybe on the
you
same
are gonna
level,
go to jail.
but
You're also gonna go to jail, like
Exactly.
by law, like you're complicit in it, and like he is in ways complicit in all of this. And so like, while you watch 6 seasons of the show and like see what type of cancer they all bring, it's very difficult for me to sit here and like 6
Absolutely.
seasons deep,
Yeah,
like what,
absolutely.
feel empathy that like for what? Like feel like I literally had nothing to give. I really 6 seasons in I had nothing to give anymore.
Absolutely, I agree. I mean, there was also another character who I thought was phenomenal, was Vito, who had also a completely different story than
That
the
was
rest
very
of-
interesting. Like I thought Vito was just like a side character. Like literally I didn't even pay attention to him that much.
Yeah, but like I think
So,
he
like,
had
I-
a phenomenal character. The like when they and he also got the death that he deserved.
Like again, an unjust death. Because like why is he dying? He did, let's say, for their business, he did everything right. He was the best earner, he was very capable, he was loyal, whatever.
But he
and
was horrible as well. He
was
killed innocent
awful.
people. He
Awful.
killed a person in that episodes before that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and so now they kill you for being gay, and that's all you die for quite literally being gay. And you die in such a horrific way because you have surrounded yourself with these types of people.
Yeah, you exactly like again. I wanted to say you chose this type of people, but like you choose this path. You know what I mean? But like it's very hard to talk about that again. You know, because like
Again, there's personal
Death.
responsibility and there is like things outside of your realm of control, let's say.
yeah.
You know, and like
Yeah.
those two things are different, but we
But like
had
again,
this
he is
outcome.
another one of the characters that like at some point I hoped for different ending, you know, and then it showed me again who they really are as people, you know, and
Yeah, because like he came back and like that was it. You know what I mean? Like
he was bored.
Yeah.
You know, like the maintenance,
the mundaneness of life.
of life was too boring for him.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if that's a word.
It is.
Okay.
Literally it is.
So he came back, and in the meantime, immediately 2 seconds in, he killed a guy who did nothing. You know, for nothing.
Quite literally nothing.
Like
so like
he
you also
took
then
another
die for
life.
nothing.
So like you die.
I
Like
mean,
that
even
was the
worse.
moment. I think that was the moment, like where I completely lost empathy for him. Like even before that, while watching him living this life that was not his, you know, and struggling with everything around him, I think even those moments I understood. Like it's not that easy, you know.
Yeah.
Especially with the fact that he has a wife and children home, you know. But it didn't seem like he, even though
That
he
was
missed
not
them,
the,
that
like,
was not the
main-
main
no.
reason why he went back.
No.
So,
So again, here we are. Like quite literally there is no character that has been able to
even though I will forever say I did hope
Escape
for
this.
one, and I, as a very positive person, would choose that one. Even Wire gave me one. You know what I mean? Like even fucking Wire gave me one character this season for the most soul destroying season. I don't know if that's a word, but you know what I mean.
It is. That's the word that like should be connected.
Gave
to
me
the Wire
one
season
fucking character,
4.
one fucking sun through this horrible, gloomy sky. You know?
I can't even talk about the Wire.
I know, but like I'm just saying that like even though I understand this was the most realistic route, this was probably the best storyline out there, and I understand why the writers would choose it, but I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Personally, I would choose her with that nail polish driving off.
Yeah.
Adriana, if you didn't know who I was.
I think everyone
talking
everyone
about.
would agree. I literally think everyone would agree with that. So I think everyone knew where you were going with that. And I completely agree. I also hoped for AJ. I mean, again, for AJ, we're not far gone. Like AJ is just like at this point where we left him off, a spoiled kid, like a nepo child, you can say. Like he
Not nepo child of an actor. You know what I mean?
That's the whole issue here. You know what I mean? That he is an apple child of a mob boss.
Exactly.
And like he has certain expectations, and like he cannot fill those expectations because he is not insane. You know, like he is not built for this life that he thinks that he should probably go into, but like he cannot go into that because he is not that guy. Like he saw that boy getting beaten up by his friends or whatever they are, and like he didn't like it. Like he is not that guy, and that's what this world entails. So like if he thinks that he should belong there, like he's gonna lose his mind, which like he kind of did. And he really suffers also with depression, but like he also has those stages of like kind of, how do I say this, like justifying and taking easier routes. Like in this episode specifically, like he was talking about when his therapist asked him, well, did you get a job? He said like, well, I can't get a job now because now I don't have a car, like after his car got blown up. Like he's just like finding excuses. I don't know if it's like to continue like wallowing in his like depression, but like also depression is, it's not like you can like choose to wallow. It's like you kind of feel incapable of doing anything else, you know? But like, again, I don't think AJ, where we left him off is not maybe the best situation to like think where he could potentially go. But if you want to be a positive person, and look, I choose to be a positive person. With this job, let's say making movies, like maybe he found something that he feels passionate towards that fulfills him, for him to not become, not like Tony, because I don't think he's capable of becoming that, but not to become so cynical and gloomy and cancer for everyone around him either. Like I was always mostly preoccupied with kids ending up in a better place. Like, yes, Adriana, like I would have loved if she were able to escape this, but like if you put Adriana or like AJ to me, I would have hoped the kid is gonna make it. You know what I mean? And so like I always hope that for AJ. I think AJ was such a great character, and I see so many people hate AJ, which is like understandable in the terms of like, yes, he's maybe annoying, you know what I mean? Like there are so many scenes where like he does things or he acts in a certain manner that's like maybe very childish or very pitiful or whatever, and so like people can look at him and think like how annoying, but like to me it's just sad. It's just sad that like he has come to this point, because I still remember season 1. Like we have grown up with him in so many ways, like throughout the period of like, I don't know how, like 5-7 years, I don't even know. And like we saw how he became what he became, and you saw that in small things, you know, like Tony in season 1 like made a comment about AJ's weight, and like AJ in season 2 or 3 or whatever is not taking bread or carbohydrates with like his protein or something, you know, and like you see how every little thing has affected him because he has grown up in a household with Tony and Carmela. And so
I think especially Tony.
Definitely especially Tony.
I somehow think that like in this show, at least in my eyes, like mother influenced daughter more and father influenced son more. I don't know if it's
like in a patriarchal.
Yeah, because like I think it's Italian family, and it like seemed like it's very patriarchal, you know.
Yeah.
So like to me it seemed that way as well with Meadow and Carmela.
Yeah.
And also AJ. I'm not saying that like Carmela didn't have influence on AJ. She sure did, you know. But somehow I think father for him was more influential role.
Yeah, I mean,
as well as Carmela for Meadow.
I mean, I agree, and I think for AJ especially it was because Tony was so awful to him, and like I don't think Tony was that awful to Meadow.
Yeah,
you know, and we talked about this like a few episodes back, like why that is that way, but it is because like Tony sees himself in AJ, and so like he was much more crueler towards AJ, and so like he was gonna be more influenced, I guess, by that.
I think so. I mean, of course, that really does make sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I completely I understand what you're saying and agree with you for AJ's storyline, you know, and I just think the show did with this whole episode leave an open ending, you know, like for all the storylines.
Leave an open ending for everything.
That's what I want to say. Not just for that. Like you can, if you want to, you can believe in whichever thing you want to. Like what happened behind the black when the black screen happened, we don't know. Like every single one of us can decide what we think actually happened and how that influenced these characters in the future. You know? So I think it's safe to say you can believe what you want for AJ, you know?
Yeah.
Like I personally think that the show did this phenomenally. I for AJ's character as well, we're gonna talk about the black screen, but let's just finish off with AJ for his storyline, in my opinion, perfectly, because I think I lost hope, and I still think that, you know, I lost hope, meaning like that what I wanted to happen, not wanted but hoping to happen, is to have a bit of more hopeful ending, not open ending, you know, something that tells me, oh, this kid has chance, you know, and I personally didn't get that, especially with thinking that Tony in that scene was shot, you know what I mean, especially with that in my mind, I have even less and less hope, let's say. I'm not saying he's gonna become his father, I'm not saying he's gonna become, but I don't think he's gonna become a good human being at the end of the day. I don't think he's gonna bring anything.
I think he can be like not in the mob world, but just like a jackass.
Exactly.
Like that could be
exactly. I think he's not gonna bring anything good to the people around him and society around him. That is my opinion, you know, where his storyline is going, and that is less than what I was hoping for and wanting.
I think give it another 5 years. They have to, like, realistically, because everything that's coming out new is like a revival or something. It's gonna be Sopranos 2.0 with AJ being like 35.
I'm really wondering if they would do something like that. I don't know if somebody would dare to touch it, be brave enough.
I don't think anyone should. I just like think some things, Sopranos, Breaking Bad, The Wire.
Breaking Bad got the continuation.
Oh my god, quite literally. Yeah, but like I was like thinking more in terms of like kind of Walter, because like it's side characters. Like I think that's a bit different, because like this would be immediate.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
This was literally continuation of the story.
True.
Just with different characters.
True. So like actually Breaking Bad could have done it and did it even maybe better.
Depending who you ask. If you ask me.
But like I think everyone who you ask, it's like they're neck and neck, and then just someone puts this or this, but like they're neck and neck. And I think that's what a fucking feat to do.
Yeah.
I literally didn't think that was possible when like you like that's why I'm saying don't even touch it.
Yeah. That's what that's the thing. I do believe that like everything get now revival or like renewed or like this or this. I just don't know if anybody would be brave or stupid. Depends on how you.
It's a thin line.
Yeah, to touch this. Honestly, even if they had an idea.
I don't think there's need. I don't think there's.
But yeah, that is. I think it's safe to say like you can choose to believe what you want for AJ's storyline in the future, or for the black screen that happened, which in my opinion,
I cannot even believe that we talked like 50 minutes without, like I thought we were gonna talk immediately about the black screen, but it's been like 3 weeks since we watched that, so like not immediately.
Like that black screen I think made this show, I'm gonna say even better. I
quite literally I think it made it even like
it
was phenomenal before that, but like I do think like you have to stick the landing. Like you have to stick the landing for this type of a show.
For any type of a show, I think the ending is very hard to do. I think
it is because like sometimes even like if I enjoy the show but an ending was like subpar or whatever, I'm like never gonna think about the show again. But like if I was watching a show that was like okay, but the ending was incredible, like that's gonna influence me so much more. And now you have this show that was phenomenal, and you have this ending that was so somehow unexpected that like when it ended, I literally feel like I lost breath in that moment when I saw that it was like, because it was black screen, the music cut off, and I first I was confused what the fuck happened, and then like it was credits. And so then you realize the show is over like this, and like it takes you time to process what just happened, why, how did you go into, like, just thinking about it now, my god, that was the most perfect. I think this might be my favorite ending of anything ever. Like, I literally think, or my top, like, let me not make such a bold statement.
Do you know what happened in my brain when you said such a statement? I agree. This was a perfect fucking ending.
Okay, let's
but there
say
are other things that have perfect
it
endings
has
as well.
to be in my top 5 at least.
That's fine.
That's
I
has
agree.
like, but the top 3, but
I can
maybe,
put
but like
it,
let me not think, because I don't know where
Yes,
I don't know where
completely
it could go. But like this has to be like one of the best endings that I have seen to anything.
Absolutely.
Like,
and I really loved it.
I just like, first, I will never listen to "Don't Stop Believing" the same way ever again. Second, I think the whole scene, they done the tension of it so well, with like the constant opening of the door, so you hear the like sound of the door opening, and
Tony-
Meadow is constantly like trying to park, but like she cannot park, and you feel like something is coming. At that point, I think someone's gonna shoot him, but I think we're gonna see, you know, like I thought it was gonna be the ending similar to like Breaking Bad, just like with them around him or something. Like that's the type of ending that I had envisioned, because I thought he was gonna die, you know. And so like I feel so tense.
Yeah, I completely agree.
And they just cut to a black screen.
And like he's constantly looking at the door, constantly just checking. You can see and feel that like all these years we saw him lose everyone around him. We saw him, he was paranoid constantly. He couldn't trust absolutely anybody in this business because nobody was his friend. Nobody was his family, like he called them, you know. So like he couldn't basically trust anybody, and he's constantly living with this fear who is coming through that door, you know. And he is looking, and the music is very tense, you know.
I just finished up and finished. Like 2 days ago, I had episode 20 where he's like sleeping in bed with a shotgun looking at the door.
Yes. So like I honestly even don't know what I thought was gonna happen, you know, like in that moment, like somehow the family, again, I lost warrant, but I care for them, you know.
I was crying. I wasn't even sure what I'm crying
Yeah,
about,
like,
because like I felt it coming now.
in that moment, I don't want it to come.
Yeah.
In that moment, I don't want him to get shot.
Yeah.
You know? But like I feel like something is coming, and we see the guy coming with AJ and sitting there, and we're constantly changing and looking at guys looking at him and
Like
going to the
to
bathroom.
me at that point, everyone seemed suspicious. Like it seemed to me like anyone is about to take out a gun and shoot him, and I didn't even know. Like I felt like Tony. I didn't even know where to look because it felt like danger was everywhere.
But that's why we're watching all this show from his perspective,
Yeah.
you know, like how he feels and like what he feels in that moment, and he does not trust those people around him, you know.
So if you watch from his perspective, the second that he dies,
it turns black. If
the music cuts and there is nothing.
We constantly talked, oh my god, I don't know how we're gonna, like, even though I can see it coming, I can see how he's gonna die, I can see all of it, somehow I don't see it. Somehow I don't see that last scene. Like I was never sure where he ends up, or who kills him, or if somebody kills him, or like I had no idea the entire time. I knew that like I would expect to see the end of Tony Soprano, but like somehow didn't feel real in my mind. Didn't feel like it's happening now, you know?
I literally couldn't envision it.
Literally.
Nor could I envision for such a long time who's gonna kill him. And then when it was like Phil, it was kind of like, who the fuck is Phil?
That's what
to
I mean.
kill Tony,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, that's what I
So
mean.
like now I have no idea who even shot him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't care really.
Yeah.
Like could be anyone. Like could be little fucking Carmine. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
The thing is, what like I really liked is like you don't even know if anybody shot him. Like
You don't.
again, that is the story that I'm going with, and like because like I love it. Like there is always like when there is open case, you can pick the side that like it works in your mind the best. Let's say,
Like
you know,
Black Sails.
like Black or any other show, like just like that works in your
Yeah.
mind, let's say.
Yeah.
And that's why I honestly love open endings when they're done right, you know?
Yes.
Because you can believe in all the endings. You can really believe.
Also, because like I just think watching a show and a lot of it is so subjective that like sometimes when they leave you off with, like, for example, in Black Sails, that was a thing of like, what do you think happened based on like maybe how you're reading this certain character and whether he would do something like this or not do something like this. Like, they just leave you off with such ambiguity. Like, I think this to me seems like maybe more clear, you know, but like, sure, you can think that nothing necessarily happened, that just you can continue where you want.
Yeah, I think the thing is like it's not that what you can think, but like it's possible scenario.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely.
what I mean? In my mind, it's possible. It doesn't matter. He's gonna die at the end of it anyway. Somebody's gonna kill him in this business, you know, or he's
if
gonna.
not today, in a week or in a year, in a
or
month.
he's gonna go to jail for the rest of his life. You know what I mean? Like it was mentioned many times in this show that like while you're doing this business, those are the only options for you: either dead, you know, killed, or died from cancer, or in jail.
That's honestly the cancer is the most likely one,
Literally.
apparently.
Or jail.
Yeah.
There is nothing in between, you know? And I think that is also for Tony the case for Tony. And I think that is like, I think that what I love about the ending is that like you really can believe it, like every scenario is very, in my opinion, believable. That's the case, you know? And like the fact is he's looking who is coming through those doors. He's like, is he being shot? Is he being shot from the behind? If Meadow, is he seeing Meadow? Is she the one who is coming
I
from the
literally
doors?
think like in my mind, like they gave him a kindness of seeing Meadow.
Mhm.
Like she couldn't, like she was parking too late. But like she entered the door and he saw her and then he died.
Yeah, but like
that's in my mind how it went.
So when she's coming in, she's seeing her father being shot.
What a nice thing.
That's what I want to say. Like
like there's a whole new show that starts from this second on forward.
Yeah. And also there is a few interesting things in the show that were being said, like Bobby saying you don't hear it coming.
Like
So,
Bobby
like,
said that like 7 episodes ago,
Okay.
but then they repeated it in the previous episode.
Okay.
Like they wanted to,
Okay,
I think,
yes,
remind
remember,
you. You know, they wanted to
yes,
remind you that like
yes.
Bobby said that. I mean, that was the episode. At that point, I thought that like, they played it because Bobby dies in that episode.
Yes,
you
yes,
know,
yes.
but like for Bobby, he kind of heard it coming.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like we didn't hear anything
Yeah.
coming, and it was just like how you would imagine death. Like suddenly, like the music cuts all black, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but like it's also like just like it's the question that Tony asked, like who am I or where am I going? Like we don't see that. We like the screen just cuts black, you know.
Yeah.
For even us viewers, we don't see what happens with him or where is he going or
Yeah.
what is exactly where the story is gonna leave us with them, you know, with him, you know, like where is his story gonna end? We don't see that. We don't know exactly the answer to that question, which is in my opinion also an interesting storytelling.
I have not watched reactions in so long to anything. I guess just because like when we're doing this, like suddenly then I stopped watching reactions. I don't know. I literally like after that ending I opened the reactions to Sopranos episode 21 of season 6
Yeah.
because I was like, how did this end like this?
Yeah.
And apparently it was a very controversial ending. But I think I read that people say that like over the years people have like really appreciated it, but like when it happened or something,
because people want to
it
know
was like
the answers.
shocking or something.
People have watched the
Yeah.
show and they want to know the answers. They want to know where Tony ends up and how he dies, if he dies, you know.
Yeah.
And they didn't get that, so I understand the frustration, you know. But
Yeah.
like I do love these types of endings. Honestly.
No, I think this literally couldn't have been a better ending if they tried. Like, again,
also-
what a difficult task to stick the landing for this.
Yeah.
Incredibly
I
difficult.
mean, again, also like we have talked about that so much. That is interesting because for each character we kind of could have seen exactly where they end up, but for Tony, neither who kills him or where he dies,
I
how
couldn't
he
see
dies,
anything.
anything. We couldn't have say it, and then they don't tell us.
They don't tell us because maybe they couldn't see it either.
Yeah.
And so they were just like, we're gonna go with him.
Yeah.
And let everyone else figure out maybe who did it, if it was done at all.
Yes, and like again, for me, again, watching everything from Tony's perspective, it makes sense that like it just turns black. And we don't see anything anymore because he was the star of this show. He was the main thing. Even Chris's death, Chris is one of the main characters. Even his death was about Tony in that moment,
Yeah.
and his character development. So
So everything stops.
Everything stops because the story is about him.
Yeah.
So everything stops. Yeah. So
do these reaction videos.
For the Sopranos.
With the end of Tony comes the end. Guys, can you believe? God, it's always so weird finishing a longer show, but it's even weirder when it's like something that like I feel like we have watched what people consider the pinnacle of television.
Mm-hmm.
People also say Mad Men is considered that as well, but like in my mind growing up, like I always thought, Breaking Bad and Breaking Bad and The Sopranos. I think like those two are the shows that I always had in my mind, like as shows. Honestly, I thought when I was younger that those should be shows that I would not like at all.
Well,
because I was like, oh my God, people are shooting at each other and like drugs and like dying and killing and like who cares?
I was like, there is no couple in this show, so why would I watch
like who's kissing here? No one is kissing. Why would I watch this? Like, like let me be a happy person.
Yeah.
And so like I never thought that I would enjoy these shows when I was younger because I was like 13 and watching Grey's Anatomy, having the time of my life. Again, just because like I thought wrongly that the whole point of the show was gonna be plot. Like who's gonna kill who's gonna rise to the top, who's gonna do this. But ultimately, it's about... I love that I started saying this line as I can like sum up Sopranos in one fucking line. I can't. But a lot of it is about childhood trauma and not being able to overcome it and continuing the cycle of it. And that has nothing to do with plot.
Absolutely nothing.
And that's my favorite.
But I also think for other shows, because we are watching Mad Men next, we won the poll. I also think for other shows, not just Mad Men, I think we put 6 Feet Under.
6 Feet Under.
I think we put Buffy.
Yes, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Deadwood, and
Deadwood
Barry.
never heard of it before.
I know, I don't know anything
or
about
Barry,
it.
I don't think that's a classic.
No, that's a new one.
I just think there are some shows, there are still a lot of shows that are maybe some, like Mad Men, is not as popular as Sopranos. Doesn't mean that it's not a great show, you know what I mean? So like I wouldn't say Mad Men, in my view, what I would consider like the greatest of all that. I think also the popularity comes with it,
Yeah.
I think like if that is also something that brings greatness, if you understand what I mean.
I just think Soprano in that regards, I guess, stands by itself because it has inspired everything else.
Because I also think Game of Thrones is one of the greatest shows of all the time, in my opinion, even though I did not like...
See what happens when you don't stick the landing?
Yes.
See what happens.
But I think it's probably the most popular show that has ever been created, and I think that is also one of the most important things. It might be not my favorite show, but
it also like opened up this whole new genre of making like high fantasy shows.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't think you can just like pick few shows and say that. But like I think the Sopranos, if you were to pick some, Sopranos would definitely be on that
just
list.
because like I grew up like knowing about Sopranos and Breaking Bad as like pinnacles of television
I agree.
that like I thought I was never gonna watch, and here I am today having watched loving both.
Yeah.
And so like in a way this is very bittersweet. Right now.
I agree. I completely agree. And like even after Breaking Bad, at least we've had Better Call Saul.
Now we have nothing.
I mean, you had Mad Men. What do you mean?
Yeah, but like like nothing's connected to Sopranos.
True.
That's what I mean.
And
now people are gonna say Godfather, Goodfellas.
Goodfellas. It's happening potentially at some point.
That's right. Look out for it. What if in between we just like do like a little cute one, like a little cute movie?
I think that would be good.
That would be better. Like, let it not be 3 hours. You know what I mean? Anyways, guys, it has been a journey.
Good journey. Great journey.
God, depressing journey. Depressing journey.
Yes.
No, I cannot. Like, literally, I want to rewatch it right now. Just rewatch it back. But let me spend the whole fucking summer in honor of The Sopranos, just driving and
listen,
this morning. Gotcha. Oh my God, I'm gonna do that tomorrow immediately.
Literally tomorrow.
That's it.
Okay, guys.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you for all your comments.
Yes.
Next is Mad Men.
Next is Mad Men.
And let's see.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching.
Bye.
Bye-bye.